Dudes and dudettes, how are you guys? This is Chazzy and welcome back to What's the Damage, the good old WTD question mark here on my channel, the segment where I can unleash all of my, anger and rage and hatred. I don't remember how the intro to this segment goes. It's been a while. This is my first WTD coming back to YouTube, after 3 months, but I think that's more or less the intro, right, where I can unleash my rage and whatnot. Maybe I should have watched one of my own videos to see what the intro was beforehand. But anyway, I finally got a haircut. I'm looking good. I'm feeling good. I shaved, I'm looking at least 10 years younger. Although I probably should have ironed this shirt before recording, but I was a little lazy because I didn't get a lot of sleep last night, guys. I did not sleep at all last night. Oh, I'm such an insomniatic, huh? Insomnia, huh? Something that affects a good portion of the world's population, especially with young adults like myself, right? That's what I'm going to be covering today. It's going to be a concept vlog, which is a vlog where I just come here and talk to you guys, very little if any editing, just the background music and stuff. It kind of takes me back to the days of old school YouTube where people literally just talk to the camera without anything at all happening, going on. But still, I have a very, very serious problem with insomnia, because it's something that can affect people to varying degrees, right? It can be short term, lasting for a few days or weeks, or it can be long term, lasting for a month or so or even more. There are people who suffer from a lot of insomnia, it is also known as sleeplessness, and it can actually be induced by a lot of different things, but in my case specifically, it's more related to psychological stress, The more I stress out over a particular thing, happening around me that I can't control, the more I think about it, especially at night, and it leads to me having these long periods of insomnia, right? I also have a very, very crippling, problematic bladder thing, where I have to constantly keep getting up in the middle of the night to go and freaking pee, but I think this is more biological than anything. I don't think it's actually myself being affected, even though my freaking bladder makes me want to jizz. The main problem with excessive insomnia is that it can lead to a number of daytime issues, like drowsiness, low energy, irritability, even a depressed mood. I, for example, start to get very, very sad as the day goes on if I hadn't gotten sleep the night before. I usually try to keep myself awake with coffee because caffeine is something that can kind of also induce insomnia, but at the same time, it does keep you awake during the day. So sometimes if I don't sleep at all during a certain night, the next day I'm gonna be drinking coffee throughout the day. Then when night comes and I can sleep, I'm gonna be awake because I drank so much caffeine during the day, It's a very complicated lack of balance that I have in my life, but I'm going to be explaining why insomnia affects me so much, because there is also a little bit of a very deep and personal psychological connection that I have with insomnia. I love how it makes it sound like I'm in a relationship, Yes, I really love insomnia. We've been dating for a while now. Yes, my relationship with insomnia is very complicated, we're a little on the ropes right now. It's complicated, but we can't seem to break up because we need each other. Okay, in all seriousness for a second, between 10 and 30% of adults suffer from insomnia at any given point in time, and it is estimated that half of the world's population are affected by insomnia today, and 6% of those people actually have it, not due to any of the other aforementioned problems that I said, it just comes out of nowhere with no symptoms, no prior symptoms, and it lasts for more than a month. It's chronic insomnia. It just comes and goes at will, People that are above the age of 65 are more affected than those who are much younger than them, and women are generally more affected than men, which does make sense. Women do have a lot more to worry about. The world today does make them a lot more anxious, so I can understand that. On an emotional spectrum, women do suffer a lot more than men. But the thing with insomnia is that it can affect anybody at any given time, and with me, at least, for example, in my personal experience, the more insomnia that I have, the more that I sleep later, because your body can't go for too long without sleep, and every single night I try to lay down and sleep as early as I can, and at some point, if I go for too many days not sleeping properly, there will be one day where I'm literally just gonna collapse at night, So usually it affects me when I'm very, very stressed out about something, because I usually reserve my thoughts, for nighttime. Like throughout the day, I'm going to be working, doing chores and cooking, cleaning up my house and stuff, doing other things, maybe watching TV, playing games, doing YouTube videos. But I try to always keep all of the innermost thoughts, you know, the more complex thoughts outside of my head until nighttime comes. And the later it gets, the more I start to think about things, you know, because when I'm laying down waiting to go to sleep, you know, waiting for slumber to come, that's when I start thinking about all of the problems that happened during that day or the previous day or the previous week or the previous month, you know. It all just comes flooding in. So it's really hard for me to focus on not focusing on any of that, you know, and actually going to sleep, you know, because the more insomnia you have, the more it's going to affect how much you can focus on something and learn new things, you know. And I did read somewhere, you know, there was a scientific research that said that your brain literally starts to eat itself when you don't get enough sleep, you know, which really scares me, you know, because like obviously keeping your brain healthy involves a lot of sleeping, you know, especially if you're like a professional athlete or something. The more you sleep, the better your body will work the next day. So a lack of sleep in general is very bad for everyone on any level that you can imagine. And with me, it's so complex, you know, because sometimes I will actually be legitimately tired. I'm gonna toss and turn, you know. I'm gonna try to look for the more comfortable positions on my bed, the cool side of the pillow, you know. I'm gonna put the covers over me, you know, wet. I'm gonna be covering myself in accordance with how cold or hot it is in my room, you know. It's complex sometimes, you know, because there is a moment where, I also have this habit of trying to calculate how many hours I'm gonna get of sleep if I go to sleep at a certain time. So if I go to sleep at 11 p.m. to wake up the next day at like 9 or something, you know, I'm gonna be maybe maybe I'll get like 8 hours of sleep if I go to sleep now. Okay, but I lost half an hour, so now it's 7.5 hours. Okay, but now I'm sitting here thinking about it, so it's gonna be 7 hours of sleep now. But if I fall asleep in 1 hour, I'm gonna get 6 hours of sleep. You know, I do this a lot, you know. I'm constantly doing this, you know. I keep overworking my brain at night when it's supposed to be resting, and that actually attacks my anxiety, which gives me even more insomnia, and before I know it, it's daytime and I haven't slept at all. It's always very appropriate for you to try to maintain proper sleep hygiene, you know, which is basically kind of like this method that was developed in the 70s to try to moderate insomnia, you know, where basically you just try to give yourself a consistent bedtime, you know, try to sleep in a quiet and dark room, you know, expose yourself to sunlight during the day, go out and get some exercise, you know. This doesn't really work with me because like, see, I have a job that involves me walking down the street a lot to go and work, you know. I do have a license and I do drive, but I share the car with my dad, so I'm not always, you know, driving around. I have to walk to and from the bus stop to go to work and then come back and walk from the bus stop back to my house. A lot of times during the daytime when it's sunny, you know, so my legs are always burning by the time I get home, you know, so that already constitutes physical exercise for me, you know. I think I get enough physical exercise during the week by doing this, you know, but it is, if you have the time and the energy, it is proper for you to go out for a jog every now and again with a bottle of water, you know, always eat fruits, you know. Having a healthy diet also does help with insomnia, you know, because the better you eat, I guess maybe it kind of, depending on the food that you eat, it does kind of induce your body to relax more, you know, like if you drink chamomile tea, for example, at night before going to bed. I have experimented with tea many times, you know, throughout my life, and it does help. But like with me, I have this habit which I know that I have to break whenever I can, which is using my phone before going to bedtime. The bright screen, you know, close to your eyes, even though I keep it as on the lowest setting, it doesn't help. I know you should always try to avoid bright screens before going to bed, you know, because it's not good for your eyes or your brain, but it's hard for me because it's the way that I relax, you know. What most relaxes me before going to bed is, you know, getting my tablet and watching a few videos on YouTube, or maybe on my phone tweeting or something, going on Letterboxd, you know. It's what helps me relax. I even watch a lot of ASMR videos, you know, so I think I recorded a video some time ago talking about ASMR here, you know, and how it affects me, you know. This was last year, so it does help, you know. Everybody has their own methods of relaxation, you know, and cognitive behavioral therapy can also be added to help you with this, you know. It really does. There are people who do it differently. Some people talk to therapists, you know. Some people also take sleeping pills, but it's not recommended that you take sleeping pills for more than 4 or 5 weeks at a time because it can induce injuries, dementia, and even cause depression, you know. So it's really complicated. Not even depression, sorry, it can cause addiction, you know. You can get addicted to the sleeping pills, and that might lead to depression, you know, because any kind of drug, whether it's pharmaceutical or otherwise, you know, can lead to addiction. And you know, when you're facing addiction, you're gonna have to face the possibility of withdrawal, and that might lead you, you know, to getting depressed. It's really complicated, you know. Insomnia is something that can really spiral out of control if not checked, you know. It's been registered ever since the time of ancient Greece, you know. So for many years, man, people have had trouble falling asleep, and with me it oscillates. You know, I don't know about you guys, but with me it depends on the days, depends on what happens, what I'm thinking about. But normally, like, there are days when I will sleep amazingly, you know, maybe 2 or 3 days of solid, you know, we're talking like 8 or 9 hours of sleep, you know. And then there are days, you know, throughout the same week where I might sleep, you know, 4 or 5 hours, you know. I'm gonna get anxious and I have to keep going to the bathroom because my bladder doesn't freaking stop working at night, you know. For some, I do drink a lot of water during the day, you know. It's because you need to keep your body hydrated as much as possible, especially me walking around in the sun all day. But still, I don't know, my bladder seems a little out of control sometimes. I don't know. I'm also trying to cut back on coffee. You know, I have been drinking a lot of caffeine, especially because I'm emerging from a 2-week break from work, you know. So it's complicated. It's complicated, but still, insomnia affects different people in different ways, you know. And I just wanted to kind of, you know, give you guys a little idea of how I think about, how I treat it, you know, whenever I can. Because these concept vlogs are a way for me to just go off the script and talk about a random topic off the top of my head. It's kind of like freestyling, you know, a freestyle vlog. And that's essentially how it is, man. I do have a long and sad history with depression, anxiety, and very dark thoughts, you know, occasionally. So, like, inside these events of my past, they come back to haunt me in the form of insomnia today. You know, sometimes I'll have an argument with somebody, you know, like my mom, for example, you know, and sometimes I'll think about the crap she said to me at night, and it keeps me awake, you know, things that I should have said or shouldn't have said, or this and that. It kills me. You know, I'm a really big overthinker, and unfortunately it manifests itself many times, you know, in sleeplessness. And it just, I don't know, man. I'm always thinking about the mistakes that I made, and it keeps me awake. It's just a whole freaking... Oh yeah, and I forgot. I have the added bonus of being a part-time YouTuber who's a perfectionist and constantly worrying about how well the videos are gonna do, and thinking about new ways of recording, editing, new kinds of content, you know. And well, it keeps me awake at night too. Keeps me awake during the day. I can't do anything without thinking about YouTube. When I was on vacation from YouTube, it was cool. But whenever I come back to uploading, you know, trying to follow my own self-imposed timetable, you know, it just... it's complicated, man. It's complicated. I'm always worrying about my channel, my audience, my videos, everything, you know. I want to give you guys the best content possible. And I have to sacrifice sleep to make it happen. But anyway, that's kind of more or less my take of how insomnia works, you know. I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of a different vlog here talking about it. This is my first time covering this topic, you know, and I just wanted to do it well. And I hope you guys enjoyed it, you know. Let me know in the comments below if you also suffer from insomnia. These concept vlogs are a way for me to interact with you guys much more personally, you know. Feel free to let me know down below, you know. If you also suffer from insomnia, what causes your insomnia, you know, this and that. Let's have a little debate down there in the comments. And in case you guys aren't already doing it, stay tuned, you guys, or maybe stay tuned. No, check back often, let's say, on my community tab on my channel, because I'm always posting new stuff there, you know. I've been trying to interact with you guys a lot more on there lately, you know. So, you know, maybe I'll put up polls or something, you know. I'll share the videos that I've been posting, this and that, you know. It's a whole thing happening. So I hope you guys are, you know, there interacting communally, you know, that kind of thing. But anyway, I gotta get going because I have another few videos to record, and I'm also probably gonna take a nap to cure this daytime insomnia. And it's all good, guys, it's all good. So anyway, if you happen to enjoy this video, please go ahead and give it a like, and also subscribe to my channel because I release videos every single day. And while you're at it, hit the notification bell too, so you can know exactly what time I upload. And it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. This is Chazzy signing out for now, and as always, I will see you guys in the next video. Roll the outro screen, the wide awake outro screen.